Good morning. I'm here at Greenfield-Central High School, joined here with Coach Luke Meredith. Luke Meredith, how are you doing this morning?
Good. How you doing?
Doing good, thank you. So this interview is just basically varsity basketball coach. This is just to get to know you more, preparation for the season, just stuff like that.
Right.
So the first question is, I understand that Greenfield was not your first coaching job. You went to a JV coach at Ben Davis. You were part of a sectional championship team at Avon before you came to Greenfield. So what brought you to Greenfield? What said, yes, sign me up for Greenfield?
Well, I was looking for something for my family. I have two boys that are now 6th grade and 4th grade in a central location in a great area. So Greenfield was a great fit for us. Smaller community than Avon and Ben Davis. Just a better fit for our family. Great community, great schools. Love talking with Mr. Carey and Mr. Manning and Mrs. Mercer during the interview process, and I think it's a good fit. Just kind of an underdog team, underdog school, and I'm an underdog type of guy, so it's a good fit for me and my family.
All right, glad to have you. So given all that, what made you want to get into coaching? What made you want to start?
So I've loved basketball my whole life, played it my whole life, and I had a coach, Chuck Bennett, who's now the head varsity basketball coach at Speedway, who we do play, and they're on our schedule, so it's always a great and an emotional game for me because he is the guy that really was one of my role models and molded me into the young man that I am, or when I was a young man, molded me into the man that I am. And so I would say Chuck Bennett is one of those guys that really led me believe that this is what I wanted to do with my life.
Yeah, all right, sounds good. So you would understand firsthand what it is to win a part of that sectional championship team in Avon. So how does Greenfield get to that level?
Well, I mean, that's the goal. We haven't won since 1998. But, on my shirt, our logo this year, I always try to have some type of motto going into the season. It's work. And so we have a group of kids and a group of young men that show up at 7:15 a.m. And it's not a coincidence that we put our code in our Dr. Dish, our shooting machine, to get shots up. It is exactly that, 1998. So you've heard the legacy and the legend of Coach Hamilton and John Hamilton and Josh Mullins and Rent Reed and that whole group. I've heard a lot about them. And when we look up and we see 1998, that's something that we strive ourselves. And we've put together 3 consecutive winning seasons. We've done some great things. We've been able to beat Mount Vernon. We've been able to beat New Pal. And now we're coming for that sectional title. That's the goal. So we've had some rough stretches. I mean, we lost to Anderson in the sectional, and that second half we kind of fell apart. But remembering that, putting the work in, putting the time in, you got to have some luck involved. So when we go up to Muncie Fieldhouse this year in March, the draw is a big piece of it. Health is a big piece of it. But I hope we're up for the challenge, and that's the goal, and that's why we're ready to put in the work and see what happens.
Understood, yeah. So everyone knows the mottos, which is a perfect transition from the last question. So you got bring the juice, you got build, believe, belong. Your shirt there says work. So what do these mean to you and your basketball team?
It's life, man. It's culture. It's who we are. That's what I want our identity to be. We kind of talk about, when I buy a pair of Jordans, I know what to expect. I know what I'm looking for because that's the standard.
Yeah.
And so the same type of thing when you walk into a gym and you pay your $6 and you watch Greenfield-Central boys basketball play, I want there to be that standard. So we talk about juice, energy, and effort in everything you do. Talk about compete, playing hard. And then we talk about standard, playing hard all the time. It's easy to do it, Friday night, sold out crowd, playing Mount Vernon, and everybody's there. Well, can you do that and play that hard all the time? That's the standard. Tuesday at 3:30 after school when you just took a bio test, block 4. That's the standard. And then we also talk about Chip. Chip's having a little bit of swagger. I talked briefly about underdog and who we are as Greenfield, kind of counted out amongst many of the teams, even in our own county or sectional or conference, but just having that, you get knocked down, you stand up, fall down 7, stand up 8 mentality. So, those are the things that are plastered in the locker room, but they can't just be something on the t-shirt. It's got to be something that's who we are. So I feel like that's my job. I feel like that's one of the things that I do well within, our program and these young men is this is who we are. We got to believe it. And this is what I want us to be. Juice, compete, standard, Chip. And then I hope that, when we do go out there and we play on Fridays and Saturdays, that is what I want people to think, man, those boys play hard and they really get after it, and that's got to be our identity.
That's a very good point. You put some good effort into it. We know that your teams have played very well this year, especially last year with the nice winning record. So building off of that, So your team lost a lot last year. After last year, you lost Joey, Rune, Rashawn, all your seniors. You got a lot of holes to fill. So who are you looking for to step up and fill those holes so that you just can keep competing and building off of every year?
Right. Well, we did lose Lester, Rowland, Carpenter Jones, and Street, and so their leadership, they had a ton of varsity playing experience. And so we have a lot of guys that are going to step up this year. We hope that Owen Anderson and DeJarnette can fill some of those roles. And then even taking the step up with, Tyler Kirkhoff being a captain. Braylon Mullins is no longer a freshman anymore, and he's getting bigger, stronger, faster. Dylan Moles doing what Dylan Moles does, getting better. He just committed to Marion, and so we're hoping that he can take us to that next level. And then there's some other guys that we kind of have to see where it stands. Is it Dallas Freeman? Is it Braden Robertson? Is it Boston Willard? Who are some of those other guys that I don't know? We're going to have to see what happens and how that role fills and who's going to be that guy.
That's perfect. Yeah. Sounds like you guys are really getting into it. So building off of that, what is your team currently doing in the fall? Are you doing any training, any practices already? Because I know a lot of you guys play fall sports. Right.
We do have many fall sports, which is great. Some soccer guys, some football guys. We technically cannot start until next week with the limited contact with the IHSAA rules. But we'll go Tuesdays and Thursdays after school. We'll do some things with weight training. We'll get some basketballs and we'll get some shots up in the morning. And then that kind of changes. We'll kind of ramp up after fall break, and then we officially begin Monday, November 7th will be our first tryout/practice.
Yeah, sounds like you've put a lot of thought into that. That's perfect. So have you thought about any goals already for your upcoming season, or maybe just some personal goals for you as a person or a coach?
Well, personal goals for me, it's more for our team. Like I would love, like I talked about, why can't the 2023 team be the 1998 team? Why can't we have that opportunity to be sectional champions? I mean, that's the goal. You want to play well in March. So for us, I mean, I just want our kids to play hard. I want our kids to do what they're supposed to do in and out of the classroom, and I want us to be champions. So we also talk about, the standard is a standard, and that is difficult, but if we do our best and show up every day and do what we're supposed to do, a goal for me would be the best that we can be.
Yeah. Everyone's been talking. They're really excited for the season is what I've heard of. So what would be something that you would build off of last year?
Well, we won 9 straight games in the season before the loss to Anderson, and we beat some really good opponents down the stretch, a really good Newcastle team, a really good Plainfield team. So building off of that, building off of just our culture, like this is, I want for our kids to be able to wear with pride, like I'm a Greenfield-Central boys basketball player when they walk in and I see kids in the hallways, and really just the culture of the student body. We got kids in juice boxes up in the stands. I mean, that's what it's all about. We had the whiteout. It was the great crowd. Like, I want our Friday nights and people to come watch us. We have the first Friday in December. We're going to host New Pal. I want it to be lit. I want it to be sold out. I want our kids to be there and the student body to be there, and that's what it's all about. That's our biggest rival. It's a boy-girl doubleheader. Let's support Coach Key. Let's support our guys, and let's just go out there and, and have everybody part of this culture and want to be there. I mean, that's what it's all about, building that culture within the school, within the players, and want to do great things for our community, for our school, for our basketball program, because I love GC, and that's what I want it to be. There's nothing better than a sold-out gym.
Yeah, I love the New Pal, Mount Vernon, Eastern, Newcastle games. They're always a good time. So what do you want your lasting legacy here at GC to be?
Just a guy that cared for his players, just a guy that tried to rebuild this program, tried to put GC back on the map. I do think that's important because there's a lot of history here. Tate Hall, Mike Edwards, a lot of great players with John Hamilton and Josh Mullins and those guys. And I'd love to be a guy, some of the coaches previously may not have stayed very long, may not have lasted very long, but I want to be a guy that stayed here, did things right, kind of got us on the right track and put GC basketball back on the map.
Of course, yeah. So I understand that you're a teacher, you're a family man, you got a couple kids and a wife, and you're a coach. When the season starts, how hard is it to balance all that, and how do you find that balanced level during the season?
I mean, that is the tricky part of being a head basketball coach, and that's something that my wife and boys, we do everything together. So, like, for example, we play on a Friday night. My boys are there for the JV game. My wife is there. They'll eat dinner and have the Chicago breadsticks just like everybody else. And so we're all in there together. It's really a family atmosphere. On Saturday, we may be on the road. Maybe we are traveling to Eastern Hancock. I'll take my boys on the bus, and so we're all part of it. So I do feel like our staff, we have a great camaraderie within our staff with Coach Mullins, Coach Johnson, Coach Bolden, Coach Loudenberg, and our guys. Like, we like each other. It's a family atmosphere, and so with all of us, it just works out well, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. All right. So other than Dellon Automotive Gymnasium that you guys play in, what venue would be your favorite to take your team in to coach?
Well, I love playing at New Pal. I just love that atmosphere and that. You talk about the underdog. We talk about just sold out crowd last year. They were playing the Jack Harlow with the band. I love that venue. Muncie Central, love that gym. I'll never forget the Richmond gym and that environment that we had when we beat New Pal in the sectional game. So I would say those are my favorite venues.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys are really ready for the season. You're getting there. I hope to see a good season this year. And that's all the time we have. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it, and I hope you have a good day.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.